I want to get into a little bit about Aaron Bushnell and what he achieved, which is kind of crazy that he actually did achieve this. Now, I don't want to pretend it's not tragic. It is tragic, and I don't want to pretend that anyone else should do what he did. Most of you know by now, he lit himself on fire, self-immolated outside the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., and he filmed himself doing it. He made his goals and his reasons very clear. He said he's doing this because he did not want to be complicit in genocide any longer. He achieved something that I didn't think we'd see, which is the mainstream media actually saying the word genocide, at least some of them. Here is a video of CNN. Actually, now they're quoting him, but still, that doesn't change the fact that this is CNN saying that a genocide is being committed by quoting Bushnell's words.
In his military fatigues, he's speaking calmly to the camera. I want to read a portion of what he says. He said, quote, "I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it is not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class has decided will be normal."
There it is. He actually got CNN to call this a genocide, to talk about the fact that U.S. troops, right? He was an active service member, an active airman. He got them to talk about the fact that this is a genocide, the fact that a genocide is being committed in real time. And unlike genocides in the past, even the Holocaust, we around the world are watching it. We're seeing video of it. I mean, yes, television barely maybe existed because it was in the 1950s was when it really started. Television started being in most homes. People were not seeing, and of course they could go watch, sometimes they'd have it before the movies, they'd have a little bit of news. They could go watch a little bit of news about the Holocaust, they wouldn't talk about the Holocaust, but about World War II. But this is the first time we're seeing a Holocaust really in real time being fed around the world. We can all watch it. It is sad that this guy, Aaron Bushnell, felt the need to kill himself in order to make the point. It is clear he didn't want to be a part of it, and the U.S. military is a part of this. And I have covered that a lot on these live streams. It is something our mainstream media largely ignores, almost entirely. The fact that not only is the U.S. military over there, there's 1,000 or more troops of various kinds in Israel. There are apparently 2 small U.S. bases in Israel. Of course, we're sending bombs and arms and everything else to Israel. That's been discussed a lot. But on top of that, you have the New York Times admitting that the CIA helps Israel assassinate Palestinians. You have surveillance drones over Gaza that are being flown and piloted, and the information is coming to the U.S. military, and the U.S. military then gives it to the IDF, gives it to Israel to help perpetrate their genocide. You also have the fact that I covered this as well. The Intercept showed a memo from the Pentagon telling troops, I believe there were U.S. troops in Iraq, to be ready to be involved in an Israeli invasion of Gaza. The Pentagon memo did not mean that was going to happen, just saying be ready. And many people have been sharing around the order or whatever, the memo, saying that it's mandatory for airmen, for military personnel, if they're ordered to go to Israel, it's mandatory for them to go to Israel. Now, some people are making more out of it than others. It does not, as far as I know, it does not mean Bushnell had orders to go to Israel. I have not heard anybody saying that has any evidence that he was ordered to go to Israel. And a lot of people are making a lot out of the word mandatory, but every Pentagon order is mandatory. There's no non-mandatory Pentagon order. They're never just like, if you're feeling up to it, just go to Israel. If you're feeling like you'd enjoy it, then go bomb Iraq for us. That'd be great. If you could just go attack Syria, just, if you have some off time. No, they're all mandatory. So a lot of people are saying, it says mandatory. It's a mandatorily go to Israel. And yeah, if they were to order them to Israel, it would be mandatory for them to go to Israel. Let's go back for a moment to the fact that Bushnell actually got our mainstream media, and I don't know if it was more than CNN, but I think maybe a couple others have read or printed his statement, has gotten them to talk about the fact that this is a genocide and that he means the military, but American people in a lot of regards are complicit in this genocide. Blood is on our hands, especially for those people who are endorsing it or not standing up against it or not speaking out against it, especially if you have a platform. So all of these celebrities that are just silent on it, it's disgusting.